This series is dedicated to parents everywhere, a child's first and most important teachers, and all those who educate, influence, and lead by example. Hello there. Many of us are too fearful of being branded as weirdos to exit the rat race. We let the two main sentiments everyone has around money, which are fear and greed, control people's lives. The fear of being different prevents most people from seeking new ways to solve their problems. That's why we still stick to the outdated mantra: go to school, go to college, get a job, play it safe. When in reality, no job is safe anymore. Thinking that a job makes you secure is lying to yourself. Intelligence solves problems and produces money. For example, when you get a raise at your job, a wise choice would be to invest the extra money. Put it into something that builds wealth, like stocks or bonds, which have risk, but a lot of potentials. Maybe you find a good fund with a 60% chance of doubling your money within a year, but a 40% chance of losing it all. However, most likely, your fear of losing the money altogether will keep you from doing so. But when your greed takes over, you might then spend the extra money on an improved lifestyle. You might buy a fancy new car, and the payments eat up the money, for instance. This way, you're almost certain to lose 100%. A new car loses nearly 25% of the price you pay for it the moment you drive it off the lot. This already gives you a glimpse of how important it is to educate yourself financially. Money comes and goes, but if you have an education about how money works, you gain power over it and can begin building wealth. Since we receive no financial education in school or college, sadly, this is entirely up to you. Look around and you'll see plenty of financially ignorant people in your own life. Just take a look at your local politicians. Is their city in debt? Your mayor might be great, but unfortunately, he probably doesn't know how to deal with money. Illiteracy, both in words and numbers, is the foundation of financial struggle. For the same reason, 38% of Americans don't save anything for their retirement. The only way for you to counteract this is to start now. Today is the youngest you'll ever be, so take a close look at what you can and can't afford. This way, you'll be able to set realistic financial goals, even if it means waiting for that shiny new BMW. Financial literacy can only be learned through experience. You must know the difference between an asset and a liability, and buy assets. An asset puts money in your pocket. A liability takes money out of your pocket. Next, adopt the mindset of work to learn instead of work to earn. Take a job in a field you have no clue about, such as sales, customer service, or communications, to develop new skills you never know what they might be good for. Set aside 5% of your income each month to buy books and courses, and attend seminars on personal finance to start building your financial IQ. The first step toward building wealth lies in the mindset of managing risks instead of avoiding them. Also, learn about investments to understand that it's better to not play it safe because you'll miss big potential rewards. Don't start big. Just set aside a small amount, like $1,000 or even $100, and invest it in stocks, bonds, or even tax-lien certificates. Treat the money as if it's gone forever, and you'll worry less about losing it. As soon as you start your journey towards wealth, you'll realize that it'll be quite a long one. That's why it's important to stay motivated. Kiyosaki suggests creating an I want and an I don't want list. Include phrases such as I want to retire at 50 or I don't want to end up like my broke uncle. Another idea is to pay yourself first each month. Take the portion of your salary you want to spend on stocks or your financial education, invest it, and pay your bills afterwards. It'll create pressure to be creative in making money and show you what you can afford. Use your money to acquire assets instead of liabilities. Assets are stocks, bonds, real estate that you rent out, royalties, and anything that generates money and increases in value over time. Liabilities can be cars with monthly payments, a house with a mortgage, and, of course, debt. Anything that takes money out of your pocket each month is a liability. An important distinction is that rich people buy luxuries last, while the poor and middle class tend to buy luxuries first. There's no rush. Just stay at your full-time job and mind your own business. In this case, your job is what pays the bills and your business is what makes you wealthy. Build your business on the side and use it to invest in assets until your assets eventually become the main source of your income. You can even file a corporation to be taxed only after you've earned and invested, instead of being taxed before investing as an employee and trying to live off what's left. It's one of the biggest legal tax loopholes that the rich use. If you work for money, you give power to your employer. If money works for you, you keep the power and control it. Kiyosaki, in his book Rich Dad, Poor Dad, says, each dollar in my asset column was a great employee, working hard to make more employees and buy the boss a new Porsche. The most important thing is that you start today. You are your own biggest asset, so the first thing you should put some money into is yourself. In the real world, it is often bold who succeed rather than the smart. Financial intelligence is simply having more options. The single most powerful asset we all have is our mind. If it is trained well, it can create enormous wealth. Great opportunities are not seen with your eyes. They are seen with your mind. There is gold everywhere. Most people are not trained to see it. Most people never get wealthy simply because they are not financially trained to recognize opportunities right in front of them. Therefore, every rich and successful person in the world puts more emphasis on learning. They don't just talk about academic learning, but about developing financial and professional skills that will allow your money to work for you. You must learn to sell, learn to convince, and learn to master your fear and greed. You should master marketing, financing, and selling and push yourself to add value. What makes you successful is building something of value to others. These are the reasons the rich get richer, the poor get poorer, and the middle class struggles in debt. One dies, leaving tens of millions of dollars to his family, charities, and church. The other left bills to be paid. Many calls investing in the stock market is a gamble. It is not gambling if you know what you're doing. It is gambling if you're just throwing money into a deal and praying. Simple math and common sense are all you need to do well financially. Most people simply buy investments rather than first investing and learning about investing. The primary difference between a rich person and a poor person is how they manage fear. Giving money is the secret to most great wealthy families. To be truly rich, we need to be able to give as well as to receive. You can look around and find many such examples. Bill Gates, Ratan Tata, Mukesh Ambani, Elon Musk, etc. all do a lot of charity, and in return, they are rewarded with time. There are 5 main reasons why financially literate people may still not develop abundant asset columns that could produce a large cash flow. The 5 reasons are fear, cynicism, laziness, bad habits, arrogance. According to Kiyosaki, fear and greed should not control your life. It must be just for balancing out your life. Why do people fear it? Because the pain of losing money is far greater than the joy of being rich. So, to overcome your fears and chase your dreams, you need to move beyond your comfort zone. W. Clement Stone once quoted, "Thinking will not overcome fear, but action will." Fear and self-doubt are your greatest barriers to success. By cynicism, he means having a negative view of all things. Rich Dad said, "Cynics criticize, and winners analyze." Successful people understand that life is what you make it. Always think in terms of opportunities. So think, believe, and grow. The most common form of laziness is staying busy. Whenever you find yourself avoiding something you know you should be doing, then the only thing to ask yourself is, what's in it for me? Be a little greedy. It's the best cure for laziness. Poor people have poor habits. A common bad habit is innocently called dipping into savings. The rich know that saving is only used to create more money, not to pay bills. So don't let your bad habits affect you. You must focus on accumulating assets with what you have, or you will spend your entire life paying off loans and credit card bills. Arrogance is ego plus ignorance. Just because you have no money should not be an excuse to not learn. Invest first in education. In reality, the only real asset you have is your mind. Arrogant people rarely read or buy tapes. Why should they? They are the center of the universe. Failure inspires winners. Failure defeats losers. To find million-dollar deals of a lifetime requires us to call on our financial genius. The hardest thing about wealth building is to be true to yourself and to be willing to not go along with the crowd. The rich know that savings are only used to create more money, not to pay bills. Whenever you feel short or in need of something, give what you want first and it will come back to you in buckets. The only way for you to counteract this is to start now and take action. Today is the youngest you'll ever be, so take a close look at what you can and can't afford. Think wisely. Stay tuned.